So one thing you'll often hear me mention at the beginning of some of my videos is that they are truly designed for new and returning players, and that definitely applies to this one as well. Now I do that for two reasons. First of all, if you happen to be a day one player like myself and you never stepped away from the game, chances are you already know everything I'm about to share with you, and I never want to waste your time. However, I've been receiving a lot of messages since the new season and the DLC dropped, and people are simply wondering, what are the best ways to farm for certain exotics in the game that you definitely want to have in your inventory? So in today's video, we're going to take a few moments and I want to highlight some of my favorite ways to farm. Now, as always, we're going to jump right into the details, and if you happen to enjoy this, do me a favor and hit that like button. It truly helps the channel out, and if you want to stay up to speed on all things Division, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button as well. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about today, my friends, is how to get guaranteed exotics in the game, and the first method I'm showing you is by hitting up priority objectives. These were introduced into the game a few seasons back, and as you can see on screen, you have multiple objective types. You have PvP, open world, stronghold, you also have a mission. In the very middle, you can also see the time in which it's going to take to actually clear whatever that objective may be. And that breaks down to three categories: short, medium, and long. And at the very bottom, you can also see the reward you're going to earn by completing whatever priority objective you select. So for instance, right now you can see I've chosen open world. My reward is going to be an exotic item, and it says it's going to take a short amount of time. Now in this case, all I need to do is complete any open world activity in the area in which the game tells me. So in this case, it's in the White House area, and you can do this on any difficulty that you choose, and you will be given an exotic no matter what. Now keep in mind as I say that, it could be any exotic that is in the general loot pool. That includes exotics from seasons past. So if you're looking for the Memento, the Catharsis, St. Elmo's, whatever it is, this is another way you can possibly get these items. And as I said a moment ago, the main reason I'm such a fan of this farming method is because you're getting a guaranteed exotic no matter what. Anything guaranteed in this game is a very, very good thing. And if you happen to be lucky enough to get a priority objective that does have a short time frame that gives you an exotic as a reward, that's even better, because obviously in this game you want to be as efficient with your time as you possibly can, and this also allows you to mix up your gameplay. You know what I mean? You're not just doing the same thing over and over. Now with that being said, it takes us to another way to get guaranteed exotics in the game, and that is by playing Countdown. Now for those of you that may not know, when you're playing Countdown, you have the option of choosing your targeted loot. And for those of you that may be interested, I am putting together a Countdown beginner's guide, which I will launch this week. Now the other benefit about playing Countdown is that, let's say you're playing, you do not see an exotic drop from an NPC. When you clear a round, you're going to get Countdown resources, and with those you go to the Countdown vendor and you can buy exotic caches. Now I typically play on challenging, I use random matchmaking, and in about 2 rounds of Countdown I have enough resources to buy an exotic cache, which means in about 30 minutes you're going to get another guaranteed exotic no matter what. Now, once again, to be very clear, remember any exotic that is in the general loot pool can pop out of one of these caches. So it is kind of, it's a roll of the dice. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get lucky, get something you want. Sometimes you'll get the same damn thing over and over. Obviously, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Now, the next farming method I'm going to show you again is another way to get guaranteed exotics. Some of you out there may be into this. Other people may be thinking at this very moment, forget this shit. I am not setting foot in the dark zone, and that's because it's kind of a hot mess. Like it really is right now, a lot of cheating, a lot of bugging out, things like that. However, when you play in the dark zone, you can earn something called dark zone resources, and you pick those up one of two ways. There are little caches located all across the map. You open those up, you get one of those resources, or you can pick up loot, break that loot down, then extract with dark zone resources, and with those, like you can see on screen, you can go to any dark zone vendor and buy an exotic cache. But I want to once again clarify, even in these caches that you're buying from a dark zone vendor, it is only the exotics that are in the general loot pool. So for those of you out there who may be trying to get the Eagle Bearer or let's say the Ravenous, you cannot get them from these caches. I want to make sure that is very, very clear. Now, another way to get guaranteed exotics on a weekly basis is you have weekly projects. You have the weekly summit project where all you need to do is complete 15 floors on any difficulty whatsoever. You also have the weekly shade requisition where all you need to do is donate a bunch of resources. And for those of you out there that have the ability, you also have the weekly legendary mission as well. Now keep in mind, if you have multiple characters, you can do these across all of your characters, so that's a great way to get a bunch of guaranteed exotics no matter what. And last but not least today, my fellow agents, I want to talk about just playing the game as intended and hopefully getting an exotic to drop from an NPC. Now, as most of you know, or for those of you that may not know, what's great about the summit and countdown is the fact that you can choose your targeted loot. So let's say, for instance, you're looking for one of the exotic assault rifles, you set your targeted loot to ARs, and hopefully while you're playing, you see an exotic drop from an NPC and it actually is one that you're looking for. Now, the most important thing to remember when it comes to this game is you're going to have good sessions and bad sessions. I talk to people who say they get exotics dropping nonstop when they play Countdown. Some others say it's nonstop when they're playing the Summit. And at the same time, I hear from players saying they have the best luck when they farm behind a mission or in the open world. When it comes to targeted loot in either of those areas, those are going to rotate on a daily basis, so make sure you check the map every day, because something you may be looking for could be in the open world where you have a control point you like to farm, or let's say it's behind a mission. Hope this video helped you out, my friends, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know. Now, as I start to wrap this video up, one final thing I'd like to mention in the game is there's also a way to buy exotic caches from the textile vendor Danny Weaver, but that takes a few different steps, and I'm going to make a standalone video talking about that as well. As always, my fellow agents, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Good morning once again, my fellow agents. It is Sunday, June 1st at 9:17 a.m. Pacific. This video should go live at about 10 a.m. And what you're looking at on screen right now are some of the must-have exotics I know I can't live without. We're talking about St. Emmos, the Capacitor, the Blue Screen, the Pestilence. I gotta mention the Scorpio, just honorable mention. This used to be my go-to weapon until they nerfed it. Whatever, I'm gonna save that for a different video. And do me a favor, let me know in the comments section, what are your must-have exotics that you cannot live without? Now, I know a lot of players out there are looking for St. Elmo's, you're looking for the Memento, you're looking for the Catharsis, you're looking for the Coyote's Mask, you're looking for the Ninja Bike. These are the different ways you can pick it up, and I sincerely hope this video helped you out. On that note, I'm going to leave you with the rest of the gameplay footage. Thank you once again for everything. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you bright and early Monday morning.
Agent requesting backup.